Ernestine Street, and I was a teacher at Councill High for about up 27 years, and then counselor at Councill High for about 5 years. That was before integration, and then when integration came, I went to Lee, and I was there for 30-some odd years. Both places I liked because we had good principals at both places. Councill High is my love because I went to Councill High, graduated from Councill High, spent 4 years in college, came back to Councill High, stayed there until we had to move because of integration.
Okay, what did you teach at Councill High School?
Started off with the 7th grade, and I taught English, senior English, junior English. I taught French and Spanish, and then I became counselor in 1952, 56, and then counselor up until 1964. When was integration? Was that 65? 67. Okay, we're counselor from 56 to 67. And then I was moved to Lee High School and was there as counselor for the rest of my teaching career, which was 30-some odd years. Good years.
Were you involved in any of the activity at the Scruggs Street Community Center that we had around the corner? Were you involved in any of that? None of that, okay. What were your feelings when integration was implemented?
I guess it was mixed. For students, I think it was good. I felt like it was a good thing because I don't think they could get any better education because I think we had good teachers at Councill High. But for materials and being able to be included in a lot of other things that they couldn't be in a segregated environment, I like it better. But I don't think that they were that the instruction was any better than at Councill because I think we had some of the best teachers in the city. I was well accepted at Lee High School when I left. There were about 15 or 20 African American students who came from A&M's campus mainly, and we just sort of had a real good time. But since we had like about 11 or 12 students, we were sort of teased because I always said that I won't have a problem. And one of the counselors, who became a very good friend of mine, said, it's not going to be like that. Because Lee then had like about 1,000 students, and it was 10th, 11th, and 12th. And he said 300 or something, 330 something plus are yours, and 330 plus would go to 11th grade. I started in as 11th grade counselor. But the problems that were at two other schools were not like it. I guess it was Lee was different. Lee was sort of parents were middle class parents who believed in education, and they didn't. I guess they didn't want that kind of environment for their kids, so it was a little different from the other schools, for which I'm grateful.
You said 6.
I was at Councill High from 47 to 50 until
66.
Oh, at Councill High?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said 6 years. Something wrong with my ears.
No, I was a counselor for 6 years.
Oh, counselor. Okay. That's where I messed up.
Oh,
okay.
I was at Councill High a long time.
Okay. Well, I thought you were, and then I was
Half
like, well,
of
I
my
missed
life.
that. Okay, well, that's what I thought. I said, well, I missed that part then. 'Cause
Yeah.
you did the integration. It was a big adjustment for me when I went to Huntsville High. Because it wasn't but a few of us over there.
Right. Huntsville High was like Lehigh, but it was a different kind of different kind of families. I think. I think I don't know why, but the families at Lee sort of didn't mind integration as much as some other parts of the city. Because we had dance team members the first year. We had Jewel Anderson was the choir, and Jewel became Miss Lee High School, and that was like about 3 years maybe after I was there. It just sort of went quite smooth.
Football players were assimilated.
But that helped a lot because we took Holloway with us. Yeah, football players had no problem at all. I mean, they were sort of big men on campus, and even teachers weren't allowed to cross football players. One of my experiences at Lee was that the captain of the football team, who was an African American, and he was the best player, but his grades weren't up to where they were supposed to be. And I was sort of called in to sort of say, couldn't you do something to help him? And you either give him extra work and all like that. And I sort of held out for about 2 or 3 days, but then you sort of give in afterwards. But he finished Lee and went to Texas. Yeah, he went to Prairie View, did well. But he was just sort of lazy, and he was just getting by doing nothing. You should know. What else was over there that maybe the faculty didn't know, but the students did. But that was it was like that though. It was a good school. It was well really to me it was the best for integration. It worked out better there than a few other places, I know. But we had a good principal too, I think. And our kids got into everything like football, Glee Club, yearbook. They were the kids kind of who would go, go-getters, and they worked hard. They did well. Be proud of them.
So who was the principal at Lee High?
When I went, it was Hamilton, Dr. Hamilton, and he had been a football coach at Butler. Lee was a county school about 2 years before integration, and then we had the assistant principal was the music teacher, Jasper Jenkins. And then after he left, we had Tom Owens, who was coach at Huntsville High. You should know him.
I knew him.
You knew him. You should too, because he was at Huntsville High for years.
Tom Owens.
Tom Owens was coach.
2 fingers missing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some names don't stick with me and some do. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and he became the principal until I retired. He was principal, I think, about 2 years later. And then one of our former students, Penny, came as a principal. But Dr. Hamilton was principal when I first went to Lee.
He was white. Okay.
I think the problem, maybe with him, he had been a coach, so I guess he was sort of used to integration, maybe a little bit more than some other principals who were just sort of hidebound, with integration. They didn't want change. I guess changes were easier for him to do than maybe some other principals.
So now that you retired, you've been
Wonderful.
Some of the were you into the sororities or okay? What are you doing with your time since you retired?
Reading, working crossword puzzles, and watching old movies on television because I don't like the new movies.
Okay.
And I guess that's it. I like the telephone and the computer.
Okay, so you on the computer then?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So
And I think there was a whole lot of family kind. You felt you felt like a family, you know, like with your mother. You know, there was no problem. You know, well, if Billy did something or Barbara did something, I knew I could call her. She was there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And it was just like that with all the parents. You know, I mean, you knew parents, and it was just more a family affair than it was. So that's why I said I kind of like both places, because Lee was like that. It was a family affair. You had parents who backed you, back teachers, and the kids knew it. And I think that helps a whole lot with disciplined kids, is when they know that faculty and parents are together, the community is together, and you just come out with the better kids.
So you're a Huntsvillian then?
I'm born and bred, born in Huntsville.
All right.
83 years in Huntsville.
Wow. That's good.
I guess in summary, I like both places. I like both schools, and I like both periods. That I like the period that I was at Councill High, and I also like the period that I was at Lee. And I don't know whether I liked anyone different. I think it was closer at Councill High, because if you grow up in a town like Huntsville, you know parents, and you know children, and then you know parents. So that makes a whole lot of difference.
In your career, when you were counseling, did you ever have some toughies? Something special, unique, or something that was one of a kind?
I don't think so.
Just basic.
You have kids. To me, all kids are good. I don't care. You know, people say you have bad kids and good kids. I think if you take time to listen, then kids kind of do what you want them to do. It's just being recognized, accepted, and you just have to have respect for them, if you want respect for yourself. So I don't think that I can't remember any bad kids or any real good kids. I can remember, you know, kids that maybe who made A's and B's a little bit more than but I just like all. I mean, kids to me are just kids, because I'm not teaching in this age, so, so I don't know.
They're a little different. Yeah.
Yeah, Deirdre tells me they're real different. She tells me, and I don't see them like she sees them. She's at Williams, and because she's at a pretty good place, right? But then all the other places, you know, I just can conceive of kids like what happened at Madison. What was it?
The school
The
down
kid.
in the
one in
that
Madison,
shot.
yeah. Yeah, I think it was Discovery. Yeah, that's what.
It was Discovery Middle
Yeah.
School. Yeah.
I mean, you would never conceive of anything like that when I was teaching counselor. That would be so far from your man as I guess as Alaska is from Huntsville. You just didn't believe anybody would do anything like that. That somebody would come on a campus and shoot, you know, like the one at UAH, and just start shooting to everybody that she didn't like. I guess that's the reason why she shot them.
Yeah, she was mad. She was angry. She was jealous because they had something that she didn't have. She didn't make the list, and they did.
But I guess like 50 years ago, it would be, it's not anybody's fault but mine that I didn't make the list, and I think That was the way I always felt. You didn't make it, it was because something you didn't do,
Right.
something you could do. You want it bad enough, you work for it and you get it.
Mm.
But nowadays it looks like people think, if I want it, it's mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you have to sometimes evaluate yourself because a lot of times the problem
Mhm.
is in us.
Right. Mhm.